Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday night, and so that means it's time for the Ghost Files. What's up? I'm your host, Vincent DiSanti, and I want to welcome you to Womp Stomp Films YouTube channel. We're here to have a good time and not share our opinions with anybody and get in trouble with a bunch of fan base that will sabotage your videos. But anyway, in better news this week, the comments are just popping off today. I see Mitch, I see Ali, I see Sam Haynes, I see Greg, I see Stoutimus is in. Adam Stout's here. So we got lots of people already filing in. Looks like we got a little bit here. Guess what? It's Friday the 13th Eve. So we're going to talk a little Friday the 13th tonight. We haven't talked in a little while. We haven't even talked about the new show yet. But next week, we got some shows coming up. Before I get started with any of that stuff, I want to remind you that if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with your friends. Let everybody know that we're going live right now. I think I forgot to share it. Maybe I can do that while James is talking a little bit. James Sue will be joining me in a little bit, the director of Jason Rising, and lots of other fun stuff. So he's going to be bringing it on. If you haven't done that, if you want to ask questions tonight, obviously hit up your super chats. I'm sure Undead is the chat somewhere or will be there at some point to answer your questions. Obviously, if you got emails, it's wompstompfilms@gmail.com and all that fun stuff. Let me start getting the page just a little bit more on point. Get that there. We're going to change the background. Ooh, that's going to feel pretty good. We're going to do this, and we're going to bring on my good buddy right now, Mr. James Sweet. How you doing, sir?
What's up?
Hey.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. Welcome to the Ghost Files. Good to see you again. I like your banner in the back there. Is that a banner or a poster?
Just a poster. It's you know, it's all in the works with the new place. So
nice. Settling in at the new digs.
Yep.
Great. So one of the reasons why I brought James on this week is that we are both going to be at the Colorado Festival of Horror next week in Denver, Colorado. Do you remember the name of the hotel that we're at? The Lone Tree, I believe. The Lone Tree Marriott. The Marriott out by Lone Tree. So we're going to be down there.
I'm actually staying at the one that the convention's at.
Yeah, I just can't remember what the name of it. I thought it was a Marriott Lone Tree.
No, it's the South
Point. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But we'll figure it out. Brett will reprimand us later. But Tom McLaughlin's going to be there. Tom Matthews is going to be there. Now Adrian King and Amy Steele from a movie called Jason Rising, the biggest movie they've ever done. They're going to be there. It's going to be a great weekend. No, it's going to be nice. I think the fan films are going to be well represented. We're going to be playing Jason Rising. They're going to play the Never Hike Alone suite. They're going to play Friday the 13th Part 6. And even though there's alumni there, the alumni are also in the fan film. So it's kind of like a cool little spiel for us. Let me get this. There we go. Now we're nice and settling in. I'm not too hot on camera. Let's see who's asking questions.
I see. Hello, Undead.
Oh, nice. Tanya's here. Allie's here. Tanya's here. Oh, here's Undead. That's right. And if I forgot to think, Undead is just on top of it this week. Next week, we're going to be launching the Kickstarter for Never Hike Alone, the final cut. So the link, which I wonder if I forgot to put it in the – no, I didn't forget to put it in the description. It's in the description of this video. Definitely check that out. Sign up today. It's going to go live next Friday the 13th while we're in Colorado. I'm actually getting in Thursday night. I'm going to activate it Thursday night, midnight Eastern Standard Time. So as soon as it turns Friday the 13th on the East Coast of the United States, the campaign is going live. If you go to the Kickstarter right now, you can sign up to get notified as soon as it goes live and have first dibs to select everything. If you have any questions, watch last week's episode. There's some really great instructions on how you can kind of build your perks and the benefits of being on Kickstarter and all that fun stuff. So definitely check that out and get your reminders all set up.
I gotta say, Davey Deathray, yes, thank you. And yeah, Evelyn was awesome. Evelyn is in another little thing that's coming out soon. You'll see her face. But yeah, no, Evelyn was she was in the same acting class with Dan Kyle, and she auditioned for one of the other girls in the prison, and it just so happened that it didn't work out, and she came in later and used her for Serena's sister.
Well, that's funny. I didn't realize she was from Alaska.
I didn't either.
Hiring everybody. Yeah, no, Dave's he's from the Great White North. So next week we're going to be there. James, what What are you bringing for your table next week? What's your weekend look like?
So I still got some stuff and things. I got VHS tapes I'm bringing. Several different covers. I got the 2-disc set. I got Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing actually a couple of different versions of the 2-disc set.
Nice.
Cover versions. Not super different, but they're going to be in Blu-ray cases instead of the black cases. So I got
Ooh. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it's back to the normal stuff. Not too bad. Yeah, I ordered for the Never Hike Alone 2. We ended up selling, I think, about 500 Jarvis versus Jasons. So in my head, I was like, okay, we're going to do one edition. So I got 500 red cases and I got 500 black cases. So the Jarvis versus Jason edition is going to be split into red and black. The first 500 have sold, and they unleash another 500 on the new campaign in black cases. To depending on how sales go with all that fun stuff, but that'll be pretty good. Yeah, I'm probably gonna bring I'll have Never Hike, Never Snow, and Ghost Cut Blu-rays, some VHS. I'm gonna have a ton of pins, a ton of posters. But flying with stuff, it's tough to kind of pick what you want to bring. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I know. I kind of bring this guy with me sometimes to see if anybody wants to take him off my hands, just because I don't know. I always like giving people the cool stuff.
You know, big shout out to Jeremy. He did a last minute hockey mask order for me. So nice. He's getting those to me. I should get those by Monday or Tuesday so I can bring, 4 Hawks with me. So those will be on the table as well.
Nice.
It'll give me a day to get them all painted up.
Oh yeah. Because you do a lot of the mask work yourself, right?
Yeah, I do all the customized, the Jason Rising stuff. These are just basically all cut out and blank white for me.
Yeah, and if for some reason you haven't watched Jason Rising yet or don't know anything about Jason Rising, shame on you. You should watch this man's movie. It is my favorite fan film. I can't wait to watch it next week on the big screen. I haven't seen a lot of the stuff on the big screen, and I was getting some stuff ready for the Blu-rays. I came across some of the stuff we had in the old ones, and like the opening for, I remember making the opening for Jason Rising, and I'm just like, man, I remember like this movie is so much fun. I almost forget how much fun it is until I start to watch it again, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot in this.
Yeah, no, we horror effects design. There he is.
Mm-hmm. There Jeremy. He is getting the shot out.
Yep, he's doing double time around these times of all the shit he's got to send out.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was great. What else do I got? I got. I think that's about it. I got some new posters.
Nice.
The one back there, 11 by 17, but it's got the red border like the postcards that we had. So those will be there. And what's great about this is that you can actually get these signed by both Amy and Adrian in the film. They'll be there, I'm assuming, for the Q&A after the showing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I assume that they are going to obviously hang out and probably want to answer questions. I'm sure Adrian's going to get a ton of questions about A24. I know I'm going to hit her up with a bunch of questions about what's going on and, some of her experience about what was going on there, which we can get into in a little bit, because every time you're on, you're my Friday the 13th guy. We talk about what's going on with the franchise and everything. And it's been a lot since we last were here. We thought that there were plans the last time you were here, and now they're much different. See if any,
which technically the reason why Adrian and Amy are able to make it is because Crystal Lake was put on hold and they were supposed to be in Toronto filming.
Mm-hmm. And I was supposed to be in Toronto filming. I was supposed to work on the show. I got to do an interview and was going to work on the crew, and was lining up a job for that, but I hadn't heard from them. And then when I checked in, that's when everything was like, well, wait for the announcement. And then, we heard everything. So everything's delayed now. And I don't know what's going on. Like, all the people that I were talking to have moved on. So it looks like we're on another thing. I remember the guy who's writing it now. He has 3 names. It's like
Brad Caleb Kane.
Brad Caleb Kane. Yeah, I know you'd memorize it. Do you know any of his previous work? What was he on? Black Sails, and
which I hadn't watched. So, I
got to go back and watch that.
I'm not a huge It fan, so the whole dairy thing, I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, I like It. I mean, that's going to be a big show coming out. And a lot of the times when you see somebody hired like that on a show that's already done but not come out yet, usually the buzz behind the show is, if he's landing this, it's definitely got some like either that or it's got some buzzwords that sounded good. It's there, but what I can understand is that in my head, he now has all winter to rewrite it because they're probably, I mean, it took him a while to make a decision, and now, he's going to have to do that. They're not going to go into production at any time in the winter. If they do any prep, it's going to be in the spring. So you're probably looking at next summer, which made me look ahead to next year. And next year is Jason's birthday.
That's right.
So well, that's a big one.
Don't forget, we got Friday the 13th in December too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have Friday the 13th in December this year as well.
And then we got what, 2 next year and 3 in 2026.
We just have Jason's birthday next year. I looked that up. Yeah. So that's good. That was going to be my idea to like release everything for the new Final Cut. Would be like aim for Jason's birthday next year, give my team like a full 6 months of editing, and doing post-production and getting ready for the Blu-rays and all that stuff. I kind of want to send the Blu-rays out before the film comes out, which would be really cool. Same thing with Ghost in the Fog to get that one done, which I watched it again today, the animatic, and I'm like, I can't wait for people to see that. So
yeah, that's a lot of fun. What I have seen.
Yeah. No, so there's I haven't showed you the full story reel.
I don't know.
I'll send you the link. You might have seen it. You may have seen it, but there is a full story reel that I have shown a few people that have watched it. It's a lot of fun.
Maybe you have. It's almost like moving storyboards. Yeah,
they're like moving storyboard. Yeah. So it's like the moving storyboards that we help time it out.
Okay.
Momo's in the chat. She's got beak. Just calling that out there. If you can't see it right there. Anyway, yeah, no, this has been a good. I don't know. As far as like Friday the 13th stuff, we haven't heard anything about that new game yet. We haven't heard anything about new movies or anything moving forward with that stuff yet. Mostly it's going quiet on the Western Front for a lot of stuff. And, fan films, haven't heard much lately, really, for fan films, right?
Well, as far as Friday goes, I mean, there's a few going around. I mean,
there's a Freddy versus Jason. No, there's a Freddy versus Ash coming out. I saw some people posting on Twitter about it.
Is that animated?
No, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen the teaser. I saw some stuff for it, but I wanted to check that out.
There's blood loss. I've heard about this blood loss.
Yeah, there's blood loss. Yeah, I'm interested to see if there's anything going to be dropping. I'm sure people are going to be dropping stuff left and right. Who knows what the franchise is going to do? Do you anticipate the franchise releasing anything other than what, maybe another skin for their Jason and their like little kid fighting game?
Probably. I mean, that's all we're getting right now, just spoon-fed digital crap. So
I know, right? Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses with all of that fun stuff. You're working on but you're releasing something on Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah, we're doing our release of our micro short, which micro means about 2 minutes long, maybe 2.5.
Is it? I think it's a little longer than that, right? It's a long little. Not long, but it's like it's just a nice little short, 3 minutes.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 minutes, something like that. But it's just a nice, fun little tribute to part 2, and it was just something we just did for fun, something I wanted to do, and we'll release it. It's getting mastered right now for sound, and next Friday we'll put it out there, and people can clap or shit on it, one of the two.
Yeah, right. Here I got a quick question that just dropped in. On Terrace, I'll just go. Yeah, on Terrace. You mentioned on Instagram the possibility of Never Hike Film if another project does well, right? Yeah. So if Never Hike Alone, the Ghost Cut does really well, not the Ghost Cut, the Final Cut does really well, and I'm getting the sense that like there's still more life in Never Hike Alone. There's obviously the Ghost Cut. That's extending it. I've mentioned that if we get a ton of backing for the Final Cut, there are certain scenes that I had to drop that were really inexpensive that we could go back because we'd have time to do it now next spring. There's some stuff that's like a little bit of connective tissue. There's one major scene that would add 5 kills. We would have to raise like $150,000, almost $200,000 to do that. So there's that side of it. So there's things like that. And then there's Never Hike Alone 3. Never Hike Alone 3 is definitely about, Hikerman 5000. I talk to Ryan and Cortland a lot. We joke around about the premise. There's no script written yet, but I already do have like the tent poles in my head. So there is that. There is also the possibility, and I don't know how much you want to speak to it tonight, James, but you're leaning in the direction of a possible Jason Rising 2. So is there anything you want to share now about that, or is what's the status of JR2?
I mean, I'm talking to some people, doing some things.
Talking to some people.
I don't want to say too much because it's one of those things that all it takes is a certain thing to throw it in a curveball into it.
Yeah.
And until script is in the works, so it's in
development.
It's in development. That's the starting point.
Hey, listen, Beetlejuice has been in development since 1999. So,
well, if we do this, I'm gonna shoot to try to, once we start the crowdfunding, get it shot, put out in a year span.
Nice. Yeah, just nice and focused. That's sort of like, after all of this stuff, everything that I want to do, I definitely want to aim to do it like short form as much as possible. Keep it isolated, not let it be like a year-long process of like shooting like 15 weekends in a row, like just being insane. Like I'd rather come in, like have like really focused, good ideas that last a half hour, that have a beginning, middle, and end, and just do what they're there to do, versus like trying to like drag out these epic things because they're just so expensive and so time consuming. It's nuts. And it's just more fun when it's like, hey, we're going to take a week out of the year. We're going to make a really great film and then get back to everything else we do, versus like, all right, we're going to make this epic structure and all this stuff, which is fun. I mean, when you're doing like big movies, but for this stuff, man, it's like,
yeah,
it's almost too much sometimes.
And that's one of the things that I was looking at too, is, take a couple weeks vacation, get as much shot in that time frame, maybe like another 4 weekends, and just crack down on post and get it put out.
Yeah, no, I love the potential. There's a lot of potential in Jason Rising 2. We've talked about it a bunch. Yeah, and it'd be a lot of fun to go back and get back into that world and those characters, and we'll have to rebuild your camp. Be fun. We'll have to go out there and do it.
And that's one of the things. I wasn't planning on going back to Camp Crystal Lake, at least not in a cabin form. I had an idea to keep it, a little condensed down to one location for the most part, aside from a lake, similar to the way Final Chapter was. It was away from Camp Crystal Lake, but it was, still in a cabin camping type scenario.
Yeah, no, it was, we obviously got our big Jarvis location. Thank you, Undead, for the showing everybody how to use that super chat. If you want to ask questions for me and James about the potential for Jason Rising 2, future Never Hike Alone projects, anything with Friday the 13th, definitely make sure you do that. Oh, Movie Panda. This one looks fun. Hey, Vinny, can I ask you a few questions about the upcoming horror films is Tom Matthews doing in the future, and what horror movie are you doing with Tom? Oh, that was, yes. So this week I mentioned that Tom and I have been kicking around an idea that is reminiscent of Return of the Living Dead. It's not a zombie movie. There is a castle defense element to the film, so that's why it's sort of the same thing. It's like that group kind of working together to defend themselves from something. I can't say what it is because I need Tom to buy the rights to it, which he's in the process of hopefully doing. But if he buys the rights to this film, to me, it is a very good candidate to go to Kickstarter, because I believe that it is a project that would do well with horror fans. It's not werewolf related. It is, you guys will never guess what it is. And once you see what it is, you will understand why it is being aimed at like a very specific horror audience that I think will eat it up and have a lot of fun with it. And then once they see what the gag is and they see kind of like what the piece of it is, it's just a lot of fun. It's a horror comedy. It's something we'd want to aim for next year. There's a couple projects I kind of have on that we're aiming for next year. Like Never Hike Alone, the final cut is really our welcome back to Kickstarter is really what it is. It's sort of giving us, we know how to run a Never Hike Alone campaign. It's been a while since we've been on Kickstarter. it's been a nice refresher, kind of going back and building all like the familiar things that I've learned on Indiegogo, but now learning how it applies to Kickstarter and saying, okay, now that I can see the correlation here and I see what the money is going to be raised, that's going to allow me next year to transition to some original projects that we have. You know, there's like some really serious original projects that are going different routes, but there's some stuff that I believe that is like more of a grassroots, like we could grow it from the ground up. And that's sort of what we want to focus on for next year. But that's what that project would be. It's based on a book. So that's what we're doing. We're optioning the rights to the book. We're going to turn that into a script. I would love to direct it. We would pull together all the same people you've seen from all the Never Hike Alone films to take this film. Tom would be in the lead. We'd go after some other horror alumni to fill some other key roles. And this thing would be, I mean, the goal would just to be to make everybody laugh their ass off and have a good time. And we think he would have that. So keep an eye out for that. That announcement won't happen until next year, until we get we really put together something that means it. But we are working on that. Is that me, or is that you? Okay. Me. It sounded like it was in my headphone. I was like, wait a second. I was like, what is that? I don't even have my watch on. But yeah, so in the world of Friday the 13th, things are pretty slow. But I did want to give a couple of shout outs. James, have you had a chance to get to the theater and see Strange Darling yet?
No.
Oh my God. JT Molyneux. If you haven't had a chance to see Strange Darling, I highly suggest. That's a high recommendation for this week. I got to see it this Wednesday. I took my cousin, Danny, who is like a big horror fan, but he's not a horror nerd. He's just a fan of movies and a fan of horror. Like, it's, when you hang out with somebody who's not like invested into talking about it all day, like he's got a family and kids and he just enjoys watching horror movies. And so it's always nice to like sit down with somebody who doesn't have like a vested interest in the actual industry and just like enjoys the medium instead of like analyzing everything. And he really enjoyed it. But it's a great thriller. It's a great like twisty story. It's, they say it's a thriller told in 6 chapters and they tell them all out of order. And it's about this guy pursuing this girl over this, altercation that they had. And it's a nice little, like, full of red herrings, full of twists and turns. High recommend there. And then this morning, anyone who's a fan of Blue Ruin, Green Room,
audition for Green Room.
What? You auditioned for Green Room to be one of the skinheads?
Yep. Seriously.
No, it'd be one of the punkers. Yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been a good claim to fame. But but what I was saying is Jeremy Saulnier released Rebel Ridge on Netflix today. It's got like no fanfare. Like if you turn on Netflix, you'll probably see it and you might flick by it. Aaron Pierre is in the lead. Don Johnson plays the villain in it. I watched it this morning. It was awesome. I love it. It's about like maybe 50 minutes in, I sort of paused it to go to the bathroom and I saw that there was another hour and 20 left. And I thought that they had like the solution inbound within the next 20 minutes in the plot. I was like, oh, this is going to be over. I'm going to pause it before act 3 and I'm going to go to the bathroom. I was like, yo, this is still like act 2, like low act 2. I'm like, what is going on? Dude, this movie switches the script constantly where you think they're heading in one direction, it heads in another direction, and the targets keep moving. And this guy, Aaron Pierre, he plays this guy, Terry. His name's Terry in the movie, but he's like an ex-Army Ranger, total badass. If you like John Wick style movies, this is like John Wick without a ton of gunfire. There's a lot of hand-to-hand combat. Sweet. There's a lot of just like chess moves. Like it's, a lot of people just moving against each other, making chess moves in different ways. And it's really interesting. And so I definitely highly recommend that. It's on Netflix. Nice. Mardina's got if he buys the rights, that doesn't mean that we'll be able to watch it on Tubi or another streaming platform. If who buys the rights to what, or maybe you guys are asking something in the chat that I don't know about.
I'd be talking about the living sex dolls.
No, don't name that.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So, no, if he buys the rights to it, we could sell it to anything. And it would be, we'd be able to kind of like do whatever we want with it. It wouldn't be a fan film. It would be an original movie. And we'd be able to make it work and it would be awesome. So,
I guess I missed the memo on the,
yeah, no, I wasn't releasing the name of the thing. Well, I mean, if you heard it, you heard it a little bit, but it's only a big piece of it. Yeah. So Tom, yeah. So he would own the dish. Well, we would try to sell the distribution rights, but what we would do is we would produce it and kind of get it going. But yeah, no, it's something we're working on for next year.
Don't ever let James Sweet sign an NDA.
Yeah, I know you're like the Marvel guy. You're like Tom Holland.
Damn it.
No, but it's fine. You didn't quite get the name right anyway, so it's
okay.
Because even I've been getting the name wrong. I had to go back and re-look it up, and I was like, oh, it's that. Okay, because that will actually make it nicer on the Kickstarters. So we got that going on. But what are you looking forward to next week? We're going to be in Colorado. I don't know how many. I know Anthony's going to come out. I don't know how many other people can slip up there. Denver's quite a drive from Arizona for some of you, and obviously Texas. I know some of you are from Texas. You know, what do you got? What's on your itinerary?
Well, one of the things that I'm looking forward to is that, I've been friends with Tom McLaughlin for a couple years now, but I've never met him in person. So it'll be nice to actually meet him in person because we've been, FaceTime friends for years. But, I've never met him. So
you haven't met Tom yet?
Not in person, no. But we talk all the time. We FaceTime all the time and chat, but I haven't had a chance to meet him in person. So that'll be nice.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be cool to hang out with everybody. I mean, obviously there's going to be multiple screenings going on. My friends Brad and Becky from Telluride Horror Show are going to be doing not a Q&A, but they're going to be doing a trivia night down the street. There's a lot of stuff kind of going on, but mostly just being around and seeing the Q&As and hanging out with everybody. I don't know if you saw the page that came out on Colorado Festival of Horror, but it's me and you with like Tom, Adrian, Amy, and I'm like, this is a good page to be on. Like, that's pretty nice. I'm really looking forward to kind of hanging out with everybody and get a chance to talk and catch up, see what everyone else been up to. I got to have Tom sign a bunch of posters that came in for everybody. Here's a good question. James, could you bring in Lori Marie Taylor for Jason Rising 2 if it happened?
I'd love to.
I think that would be a great ad.
Lauren did really good work in A
Violent Nature.
In A Violent Nature, yeah, she did great work. Good for her. It's nice seeing her out there, and she's a sweetheart. So hell yeah. And
then Davey's got some comments. Tom seems like the coolest dude. Creator of my favorite Friday the 13th film. To me, he's a total rock star, and yes, I have a man crush on that guy. Don't we all? He is a rock star. Have you ever? Oh, no, because you've never met him yet. I've actually been to one of his shows, one of the Sloth shows. Saw him playing in Hollywood, rocking out.
Yeah, he's been working on what, Slothzilla?
Yeah, something like that.
The new one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he's a fun guy. Definitely a great positive, energy to throw ideas around and talk Friday with. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be good, but I think it's going to be good just to like sit down and just be around, just be around it all the weekend, celebrate Friday the 13th with everybody. I'm actually doing in costume photos on Saturday, which I found out that we're going to raise funds for like a wildlife preservation for like an animal sanctuary, which is pretty cool. So hopefully they bring some animals down that we get to pet them. So did you see the news thing? The Colorado local news thing that they posted? Looks like they had one of the guys from the horror festival on the news. Oh, really? Talking about the festival. So that was cool. They're getting a lot of press anyways. We also just have to make sure that we don't go anywhere near Aurora and end up getting attacked by a Venezuelan gang. I guess they're getting all out of hand out there. Have you heard about this? I heard somebody say something about something going on in Colorado, but the specifics of it, I didn't know anything about. I don't know what happened. I lost you. The Venezuela gang got you. Yeah, I know. They got me. They heard. No, go ahead. What were you saying? No, I was just saying that, I didn't hear specifics. I heard something was going on in Colorado, but I didn't know what. Yeah, I didn't know either. I was like telling my mom, I'm like, yeah, I go to Colorado next week, blah, blah, blah. She's like, Colorado, where are you going? I was like, oh, I'm going to Denver. She's like, oh no. It's like, what? And I looked it up and I was like, oh, like there's literally like a gang took over like a whole apartment complex, apparently. Wow.
So I was like, and then I looked up the map and we're not over there. So that's good. So come to the safe part of Denver.
That's right.
Where we're just hanging out doing horror stuff. Let me see. You got some stuff in here. Why would you eat healthy and exercise when you can smoke pot, eat donuts, and play Super Mario Brothers? I don't know, Nick. I eat healthy because I don't like looking at myself.
It's a legit question.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I would love to just do that all the time, but I got to make money and then go from there. Let's see what this is. That would blow my mind for Tom Matthews to be in another Friday trilogy. Have Tommy fight Jason like Terminator 2 action series. Also, is Tommy going to be in Friday the 13th Vengeance 3? I hope not. For his sake. They're going to do a Vengeance 3. Please tell me no. They should quit while they're ahead. Oh, here's some stuff. Oh, 913. I like this. Adam Stout asked a good question. What kind of backings will there be for NHA, the final cut? If you check out last week's stream, I did a whole thing, but there's going to be Blu-rays, VHS, pins, posters, T-shirts. I'm going to have sweatshirts as an add-on. There's going to be opportunities to get your missing person poster in Ghost in the Fog. There's going to be a chance. There's 2 chances to get your likeness put as one of the main characters in Ghost in the Fog. So there's a male character and a female character left. So either buy it for a friend or a loved one, or you can purchase it for yourself, and we'll help you design the character and maybe kind of keep it in somewhat in the world, but we'll make it look like you. I
like Statimus's 913.
Yeah, I know. I think that's perfect. So there's stuff like that. And then we're going to add stuff as we go. There's just like, I might do black cases of Jarvis versus Jason, or black cases of the final cut. I may do, we may pull some more of these guys, different stuff. I know Kaiden Ritchie's been making these for me lately, which are like these like retrofitted like Ghost Jason from Freddy versus Jason. He makes him look like Ghost Jason. He's actually on the latest round that he's doing. He shaved down the feet, so he doesn't have these big Frankenstein boots anymore. And he looks just like Jason underneath too. Like he pulls like this one, not so much, but in the other ones, he's taken out the eyes and taken the nose off. So I'll have one of those probably next week or the week after. Well, actually, we won't have a Ghost Files next week. We won't be here next week. We'll be celebrating Friday the 13th, so I won't be on. So we'll be there. Let's see. I'll protect you then. Thanks. Is Tom coming back for another Jason film? I mean, if we do another NHA, I'm sure I'll include him in some way. But his story is over for us. Let's see. I got to meet Adrian and Amy last week at Camp Blood X. They were incredibly kind. Also got to see Jason Lives on the big screen. Yeah. So were you at the drive-in where it was like did you see that? Like the 3-day drive-in extravaganza where they played? That looked amazing. I think that was out in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I talked to Stacy about it, and that was one of those ones that would have been really fun. I thought maybe you'd make the trek, but
I know I was thinking about it, but it's just too much. Jordan knows. We don't talk about it's the ye who will not be named. Let me see. Jordan also wants to know, with his broken ass legs, any news on that Predator fan film you guys want to do? We haven't talked about that in a long time. That's just it's a pipe dream with that money that it would cost.
It would cost a lot to do that. I mean, shit, just the costumes alone would be spendy.
You'd have to find some cosplayers who just do it. You know what I mean? I
think we could raise enough money it probably wouldn't be an hour type of thing. We could do a shorter one, but if you could raise $100,000 to do a 40-minute, I think we could do a lot of cool shit in 40 minutes.
That's what I was explaining to somebody today. I was like, sometimes if you just pick out a really cool scene, it's enough. You know what I mean? Like, just do a really cool scene or pick something out that's very specific. Don't overdo it. And I think that's sort of my approach with any type of fan film going forward, is if I can kind of crunch it down and make it palatable for something that can be done over like a course of a week.
I've got a great plot idea.
Oh, nice.
You're gonna want it.
All right. Can I play the Predator? No, we got to get Dan, right?
Well, probably both of you.
All right. Two Predator. I like it. Like 2 dragons.
You got to have...
I had to get this beard trimmed up. I'm all scratchy and shit. I'm just letting it grow out for next week. So I'm actually going to do, I think I'm going Deputy Playboy next week.
Are you?
Yeah, I think we're going to do the mustache. I'm going to get it nice and trimmed up. I'm going to get this all shaved down.
Nice.
I'm going to look nice and it's going to look good next week. We're going to do Deputy Playboy is making a comeback.
Should I uniform up and just...
If you have the uniforms, I think you should bring them. I think we got to do one day as the 2 deputies cleaning up dick blood.
Okay, I'll look for it. I'll see if I can find it. I like
Vin,
it.
they had a giant Godzilla statue at the drive-in. You would have loved it. Why didn't you take a picture for me? God damn it, Jordan. Always dropping the ball out there. Oh, look, Ghost Jason's in the chat. Dude, Ghost, I didn't know you got the got a Wi-Fi out there. How's the camp? Is it doing okay? Davey Deathry's been watching Batman Dead End.
I've had that for years. I love Sandy Calora.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So to go back to what Adam was saying before, so like, yeah, I honestly like I think the bell of the ball for this this crowdfunding campaign that's coming up is definitely obviously getting the Blu-ray, but the t-shirt is going to be awesome. Like this is the first time we're doing like a really detailed t-shirt. So we got those, and I'm going to do sweatshirts with those as well. Those will be available. And then, you know, like I always do, I'm going to probably add some Womp Stomp Films t-shirts. I'm working on a new Womp Stomp Films logo that's going to go on there. So we're kind of working on that, like red shirts and let me see. I'm just checking some other things. You know, we're going to do like the red shirt with the black circle and stuff. You know, we've just been trying things out. Even Allie got me on. Allie, you'll be proud. I found our first ever logo that we put on the monkey foot because it was supposed to be like Womp Stomp with the big feet. Like it all came, like it came from the Star Wars thing, but I've also had I've always had big feet. And everywhere I walk, I stomp around. So that's where that comes from. And that's why I had the first logo was this big monkey foot, and we never used it ever since the first the first trailer. But I'm thinking about bringing it back for the t-shirts because it is a rad looking logo. I think I would like to do it. Steve says Dan Kyle would do another Spinal Rip if y'all do Predator fan film like you did in Jason Rising.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Spine rips for everybody.
Fatality.
Dude, your cosplay was dead on. I was freaked out of how accurate it was. Oh yeah, because Jordan. If anybody doesn't know, but this guy right here, Jordan Harvey, he plays 2009 Jason. We're supposed to be doing a fan film, but he hasn't contacted me in a long time about that. In fact, James, weren't you doing a pass? That was the one I had you do a pass on.
Oh yeah, it's done.
Done.
Completed. Final draft is in. Yeah. No, I've been slacking just like everyone.
No, we all got a million things to work on.
I was moving.
Yeah, but you know, I'm sad that we can't dive into Rebel Ridge and Strange Darling a little bit tonight because I'm still buzzing from both those movies. You know, as far as like independent cinema goes, like they're giving me hope. Like Rebel Ridge isn't an independent film. Obviously, it's a Netflix feature, but it's so sad that this film. I was thinking about it on the drive home. If this film was made in 1992, it would have been a Steven Seagal movie. Like that, like watching it, I was like, yeah, the guy knows like a little bit of martial arts, and then he just slowly takes down this corrupt police like force. I'm like, this totally would have been Steven Seagal in 1992 in this movie, and now they sort of like it's definitely like upgraded for the future. It's very slick and everything, you know, the way that it looks, but it's just sad that a movie like Rebel Ridge is only going to play on Netflix and not get a lot of attention. And like, why wouldn't a film like that go to the theater? And like, there's other films going to the theaters that have like no business going to the theater, and they should be on streaming. Like, it's so weird how backwards the industry is right now with stuff that's going and, you know, getting theatrical runs and what is being forced into streaming, and then will never be put on, you know, we're never going to get a Blu-ray of Rebel Ridge, which is kind of shitty because it's Netflix. It just kind of sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look how long it took for Blu-rays to come out for Prey. That took a long time. Oh, I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it is an epidemic for stuff. And that's the kind of the cool thing about doing the fan films and sort of doing the indie films is when you do these. And one of my goals with the Kickstarters that we want to do is there may be a way, if there's enough support for original content, for us to not sell away the rights, but to keep the rights and just keep selling things outright through our own distribution, where we can be our own distributor and just sell to our fans directly versus having to go through a distribution market. Obviously, like, it would open this up, but at that point, we're making the same money, and like the movie's making more money, but we're still making the same money. So I'd rather make 100% of less than 20% of more and still make the same amount with everyone else getting, you know, I don't know. Then you lose control of it and you never know what happens. And all of a sudden one day everyone else is making money on it but you, which is like the story I hear about independent films all the time.
That and music artists all over, they're, you know, once you figure out the business side, then you have control of it. Look at 9 Inch Nails.
True. Look at a lot of the people doing that stuff. Oh shit. Davey hit up with, I didn't even see this. Hey, Vin, it's been so long. I miss your Musk. If I only my private jet weren't in the shop, I'd totally be up to Colorado next week. Well, it's only like, I know from Flagstaff, it's a 7-hour drive. So if you're coming from, where are you coming from though? Because I thought you were in Phoenix, right? Right. You're in the Arizona area. So it's only 9-hour drive. Come on up. Have fun. Eventually,
says,
what she said?
She said Prey needs a theatrical release, and I agree.
Prey needs a theatrical release. Yeah, like why does that movie end up in the theater? It's so crazy. Oh, look at it, and look at Anthony. Never knew about them Blu-rays. Finally getting Hush. That's a film that I think doesn't need to be on Blu-ray. That movie shoots its wad so quickly. It's like, oh, she can't hear anything. And now let's play with this for an hour. And you're like, okay, when is this going to get old? When is you just going to like break the thing, that movie? But anyway, moving on. The other thing that happened today, which was, and I just saw it. Oh, Robert the Wolfman's here. But that also reminded me, did you see the Wolfman thing that everyone's getting laughing about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a feeling that Lee Winnell knows what he's doing, and whatever they're doing at Halloween Horror Nights is going to be a pale comparison, because that's what Halloween Horror Nights is. Like, it's a cool. Have you ever been?
No.
So Halloween Horror Nights is like, it's a spectacle in and of itself, and there's a lot going on. But the actual haunts, like going into the haunts, the problem is that for those of you who love haunts and like to go and be scared at haunts, this isn't for you. This is just literally a thing you walk through and you look at like different things, and people try to jump out, but everyone's so on top of each other that you know where all the scares are coming from. So you're never scared. You know where everybody's hiding. They barely have enough time to reset. It's just like, it's chaos.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't put too much stock in like the Halloween Horror Nights version of the Wolfman. I'm sure whatever's coming out is going to be, no, I'm not wrong, Anthony. I know that Lee Winnell knows what he's doing, because that guy keeps making great movies. And he's probably saying I'm wrong about Hush, but but it's fine. We can talk about it in Colorado next week. Let me see. I'm trying to keep up with all these comments. I love having physical media, especially considering how you need to keep a subscription. You don't really need to own the digital purchases on. You don't own the digital purchases on the platforms. If you're camping, no Wi-Fi needed. Yeah, exactly. It's really, the whole subscription model for everything is really, I don't know. It's a scam. It's a scam to keep people just draining of money all the time. That's why these companies like even Adobe and stuff like that, like I'm appreciative of having all these like tools at my disposal, but at the same time, it's like we all pay $20 a month for all these tools, and that's everybody paying it. This company's making so much money hand over fist, and it's like, can we just get a break on all this stuff? Let me see. Movie Planner wants to know if Tom Matthews has seen Hot Fuzz, because the cast in Tom is the cast in The World's End, but I don't remember seeing him. I'd have to ask him about that. I'm sure he's seen Hot Fuzz. If not, I'll show it to him. Let me see. Oh, look, Robert. What are you guys thinking about driving out? That'd be good. Oh, see, look at this Colorado road trip. Come on, you guys can switch back and forth. It'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to be there Thursday night through Monday. So I'm going to be there all weekend hanging out. It's going to be a good time. I know that, we're going to have good stuff.
I fly in Thursday. That'll be
James,
fun.
you used to, actually, I remember we used to talk about this. You used to work at a haunt, right?
Yeah. Well, I used to have my own.
That's right.
Called Terrorville. Terrorville Haunted House. Yep. I
love it. Terrorville.
Yep. No, it was fun. I was young. I started out in my grandmother's basement.
Nice.
And I had the fire marshal come down and tell me it was a fire trap and don't burn the place down, because I had this little Pamela head shrine, and it had real candles and black plastic all over the walls, and it was just, I didn't know any better.
Yeah. Did you ever see have you seen the Hell House LLC films?
No, I saw something on them not that long ago, and I wanted to check them out, but I haven't watched them.
I think they're worth checking out. I think that, like, I'm not the biggest found footage guy, but I've found them to be very interesting. They're pretty scary, and they're economical. They're economically made. Look at Mitch. Terrorville, where good times go to cry.
I had a lot of fun. It was, the last time I did it, it was at a mall, and that was a fucking nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I decided I'd never do it again, and moved on.
Yeah, no, I bet it's now you got into another nightmare, which is making films. Movie Panel wants to know about EMF. EMF is on the table for next year. That's one of the ones I'm going to look at.
What's EMF?
EMF is it's actually a script that was written by the guys who wrote Vengeance, Jeremy Brown and Mike Mead. They sent it over to me, and I saw something within it that I said, let me take a pass. I took a pass at it, went back and forth, and said, I can probably get Tom to play the lead. Tom's already agreed to play the lead. It's a really cool little script. It's a cool little horror. I would say it's a 12-minute, really good, solid horror short that I would love to do. And so that's sort of like that's the goal for next year, is like get like a really solid horror short done and to get some of those lined up. And then, if a feature takes off, and we get that going and we shoot that. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. There's actually 4 Hell Houses now. There was Hell House 2, which was like the follow-up, and then Hell House 3, Lake of Fire, and then there was like the Carmichael Manor, which was the last one, which was really good. And they're working on a 5th one right now.
I'll have to check it out.
But the first one's really freaky. You don't expect things to pop off, and then things start popping off, and they do a really good job of setting them up. And the last one, the Carmichael Manor, that one has some good scares on it. And I want to say it's on Shudder. So you can just jump right on Shudder and find it. It's really super simple to find. Rebel Ridge is on Netflix. Strange Darling is only in theaters. And it's very, very limited. Like there's literally 1 screening a day at every theater that's around. I think it got extended, unlike some other independent films that I know that didn't get extended. Because for whatever reason, but this one, I really did hope it get extended because it's going to be really, really good. Let me see. Grave Encounters are just as good as Hell House 1 and 2. So I've never seen Grave Encounters. That one looks good. I do want to check that out. So that's going to be on the watch list for next week.
I got to catch up with all these movies. I think the other night I started watching the original Night of the Living Dead. I haven't seen that in eons. I would put that on, but
I was just thinking that, like, I want to go back and watch the originals. Like, actually, what I haven't watched in a long time is Dawn of the Dead, and I haven't watched Day of the Dead in a long time.
Yeah.
So I think I do need to do a sit down back to back with those. I've been keeping up with like the new, Rings of Power and stuff like that. But really, I've been working a lot. One of my original scripts had a really great meeting with my writers today. There was sort of like a, one thing I would say about like Rebel Ridge. What else? So Rebel Ridge, Strange Darling, and Alien Romulus, they do a great job of like, there seems to be like there's a solution on like right in front of people, and then that solution blows up in their face and they have no clue what to do and they have to move to the next thing. And so we're kind of coming up with something like that for the film that I'm working on right now. And we had a nice breakthrough today, which I got to write this weekend. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I got some other momentum on another project that I have with maybe some funding and stuff like that. But so you got that going on. Let me see. Wow, Tom Matthews says his hands full. 2-hour movie, 2 horror movies next year. So I'll take it. He'll be in the lead for most of your movies if we ever do an action movie with Tom. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like we're gonna work with Tom again. I want to work with Andrew again. And we have different projects. I mean, that's the way it is. It's like, and James, you're the same way, right? It's like once you get something going, you're calling up all your friends, and people are just playing different roles for each thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Kyle Vahan this morning. He was calling me, and I said, "Oh, I'm maybe needing you, Sheriff Daltrey,"
with his busted hand.
Yep.
I think we need to give him a Terminator hand. He's got like an electric robo hand that always just goes, and we'll just like play with it all thing, and like have like a glove, and we'll just do the Luke Skywalker thing.
Well, and there's all the alternatives that I had thought of as far as like, can we eliminate that? Can we,
retcon it?
Maybe do it like Happy Gilmore, where he's got the wooden one.
That's what I'm saying. He does the stubs. He's either going to have a Chubbs, or he could do it like this. He's like, yeah, I bought one of those electric hands, but I had to get it secondhand. I had to get a secondhand hand, and the guy who owned it before me was a pervert. And you just see the hand; it just keeps doing this.
That's right. Kind of like
you can't stop it; it just keeps doing it all movie.
What's that one video with the guy with the robot hand? Was that off of like an Oats Studio thing or something?
Yeah. It was like crushing everything on accident.
And it was just like it was stuck in jack off mode or something.
Yeah, can we please just make this a running gag and his robo hand that keeps like not working, and then right when everything looks like it's going wrong, the robo hand starts to misfire, but it actually saves them, which would be like the best part. It would like distract Jason because he's not knowing what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. I'm right.
I can't turn this thing off. Just like in the background, hitting it with a hammer.
I'm gonna write it in now.
That would be so good. It's my strong hand.
That's right.
And then, Anna can just give him shit the whole movie about it. Terminator arthritis. Yeah. We got all that's gonna be great. Let me see. Oh, The Changeling with George C. Scott is my annual spooky season play with. Probably my favorite haunted house movie. Yeah, Changeling is creepy. I didn't I slept on that one for a while. Once again, Kickstarter reminder. If you want to get notified for the Kickstarter, make sure you click the link in the info box. We're launching a week from today. So already have 220 something people signed up. So that's good. That's going to be a great first day if everybody shows up and gets what they want. Remember, you have the ability to change your perk structure all the way out through the campaign until it ends. Until it is successful, you will not be charged. So build it however you want. If you want something custom built, you can talk to me. I'll try to build something for you. We'll make it one of one and you can get it. Kind of doing there. Let me see what else is going on this weekend or next weekend. Going through some things. Steve, watching the original Night of the Living Dead, it almost made me puke. What about it made you puke? I always find that film to be very tame. I just love the claustrophobia of that movie, the original Never High Living Dead. Like them coming through the windows always just sort of like really freaked me out. Well,
even as the way he directed that film, the camera shots, the angles of it were pretty genius for the time and that type of movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, totally. Speaking of genius for the time, Davey Deathray is bringing up Milk and Cereal. Have you had a chance to check this out? Apparently it's on YouTube.
No. What's
so
this?
Milk and Cereal is like a no budget film that some kids made on YouTube that's supposed to be really, really good. I think it's like a serial killer movie. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen it yet, but that is something I do want to check out. So definitely check that out this weekend. Tom Savini's Children of the Living Dead was good too, but Tom Savini only did the Night of the Living Dead remake, I believe.
Yeah, that's what he directed, and I love that. He did such a good job of that, directing it. I love it.
I saw that in theater. Crates of FJR. James Sweet. I can't wait to see you getting it on with a hot nurse in the morgue like Axel in Part 4, or would you rather go skinny dipping?
Well, see, that's Vinny. Vinny's the Axel of Jason Rising, right?
Yeah, but I'm dead.
Playboy.
I'm dead. Or am I gonna have to come back in like some type of like horrible accident? Like I just can barely move.
Well, technically, I can get the Terminator hand, right? Because I lost mine.
Maybe that's the Terminator hand that he got it from was yours. He bought it off you secondhand and then realized, he paid it because you're getting workman's comp from the thing.
That's right.
No, it has to go back to you guys have to go back to the correctional facility. And when it's there, you got to have a memorial wall for Deputy Playboy. It's like in memoriam, the in memoriam wing for Deputy Playboy.
I like
it. He gave his life.
He gave his life for the dick blood.
Yeah. He refused all the way to the end. Officer, well, there might be something to that, James. Let me see what else. Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate that. Let me see. Zachary's got a question. You could be a new character that no one acknowledges looks exactly the same like the new Chucky series. That is true. I could just be a new character. I could shave in a different style of mustache, or I could be his twin brother.
Well, look at Cheech Marin. He plays all kinds of characters.
Yeah, right. I'll just play anybody. A sequel to Kill a Mockingbird centered on Boo Radley, left to his own devices after his father dies. Scout and her brother are stalked by a slasher, and Boo rescues them again. All right, that'd be deep. Like people would be like, that sounds like the Pooh-verse version of To Kill a Mockingbird. Like all of a sudden, for no reason, Winnie the Pooh is now a horror icon. Allie says Deputy Playboy's got to come back. But yes, Steve is right. Steve is right. I got gutted by the chainsaw. Cheech from Dusk on. What were they, psychos or something? And he
I don't care how crazy you are.
Yeah. All right,
I don't
guys.
give a fuck how crazy you are.
All right, guys. I think we're kind of bringing it home tonight. It's been a long day for me. It was up early. That's the reason why I was running late. Is we had a softball game tonight. We're on sudden death. We had to win or we were out. We won tonight, so we're back in this game. We're back in the playoffs, tied 1-1 for the first round. But thank you for hanging out with us this week. Thank you to my guest, James Sweet, for joining me. Remember, the Ghost Files is here every Friday. We won't be here next Friday. James and I will be in Colorado celebrating Friday the 13th at the Colorado Festival of Horror. We're also going to be doing screenings at Horror Hound, Cincinnati, Crypticon, Minnesota. Taylor County, West Virginia is going to be doing a screening of Never Hike Alone, The Ghost Cut, and Never Hike Alone 2. And the Unnamed Found Footage Film Festival is also screening Never Hike Alone material. So definitely check that out. We'll be posting on it on the Instagram all week. If you don't already, like this video, subscribe to this channel, like all of our social media. James, what's your social media? Tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
Instagram, I got the X thing. As far as you just.
But everybody finds you at Red Crow Films, right? Red Crow Films 1.
Yeah, well, email. Yeah, you can email me, redcrowfilms1@gmail.com. Or
nice.
I think we have our website still up, Jason Rising.
And you have your YouTube?
Yep, we have a YouTube channel now. Well, I've had it. Just I got Jason Rising put on it for the first time since my Wi-Fi was shit and I couldn't do it. Carl had all the beefy Wi-Fi, but I'm good now. I'm good.
Good. We got it up there. Definitely make sure you got Jason Rising on your watch list next week. Obviously, Never Hike Alone. Keep that on the watch list for Friday the 13th. Stay glued to the Twitter and the Instagram and the Facebook. For us this week, we'll be launching all sorts of stuff and news about Friday the 13th, the final cut. If you have questions about Never Hike Alone 2 and all of the things that are coming with the previous campaign, you can email me at wompstompllc@gmail.com. Things are in motion. I will be getting a new file this weekend, so I will be updating everyone's digital perks this weekend. I will send out an update. I'm not going to email everybody again, but basically the same link you got for your digital reward is going to work for the new file. There will be the names have been fixed. The missing persons have been fixed. It's going to be wonderful. Jason Rising in the chat right there. So just make sure you do that.
And I don't want to scare anyone.
Yeah. And I don't want to scare anyone coming out next week as well. Are you showing that at Colorado Festival of Horror?
Well, I thought I might talk to Brett about it, see if they'll throw it in the mix, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, play it right before Jason Rising. We'll have a little fun. So I won't be here next week, but I will be here the week after. We may be changing nights. We may be doing some things. I'm going to be working at Scary Acres, most likely this season, doing some scare stuff. So I'm going to work at my first haunt this year, doing a little second job work.
Yes,
doing all that fun stuff. So that's going to be good. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Just sound like you've been. Yes. So we're going to be selling a bunch of stuff next week. Come support the channels, all those fun things. James, I'll see you next week. Everybody else, you have a safe and fun weekend. And until next time, I will see you on